Guys, what is going on? I hope you guys are well. So, guys, Tim Bradley puts Errol Spence on blast. He basically said that Errol Spence is trying to cash out against Canelo, and he would rather face Canelo than face Terence Crawford, and basically implying that he feels that he's trying to cash out. He goes, he would rather go north and fight Canelo, but isn't willing to face Terence Crawford. He even said that even if Terence Crawford joins the PBC, he's still not going to fight Terence Crawford. He goes, I can't see that fight happening. And he said that that Errol Spence is in the stage of his career now where he's looking to cash out. He's looking to finish his career. I don't think he has that intention to stay in the game very long. He wants to make the money and get out. Now, what do I make of that? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be honest. I agree with Tim Bradley for some reason. Listen, I know Tim Bradley's close. And one thing, all the Spence fans are probably going to attack me. But I'm a big Errol Spence fan. I like Errol Spence more than I like Terence. And what I mean by what I like, I prefer him as a fighter in terms of his style, his ability. And personally, I think he beats Terence Crawford. I think he has a great chance of beating Terence Crawford. However, the fans are starting to turn against him. The neutral fans, the ones that aren't Spence fanboys or don't like Spence, are starting to turn on him. The hardcore boxing fans are starting to turn on Errol Spence. And I'll tell you why. Because it looks like from the outside that Errol Spence don't want to fight Terence Crawford. He's talking about fighting Canelo. He's talking about fighting a guy that's at 168. And he won't even fight him at 168. He wants to fight him at 160. So Canelo would come down. Will Canelo come down for Errol Spence? Canelo's already said that he's not interested in a Spence fight. He just said that a couple of days ago after the Callum Smith win, that I'm focused on unifying the 168-pound division. So my take on this now is that Errol Spence has just been through a life and death experience in a car crash. Has he got the heart and has he got the desire to be in the game that long? I don't know. Only he knows that. And we're not in a position where we're in a position to kind of say whether he is or not. But from the way it's looking and from the way that he wants to just jump up and fight Canelo, and it's a fight that I don't think he wins. I don't think he can win. I'm just being brutally honest. I don't care what his fans say. I'm just giving you my opinion. I don't think he can beat Saul Canelo Alvarez. And for me, anyone that moves up 2 weight classes to fight a guy in their prime has no chance. Sugar Ray Leonard, who is way better than Errol Spence, right? Went up 2 weight classes, fought an over-the-hill haggler, and really a lot of people thought he lost. He won a split decision, and that was an over-the-hill haggler. Imagine what a prime haggler would have done to Sugar Ray. Right? And we've seen it time and time again. When guys move up 2 weight classes, it doesn't end well. And this fight will not end well for Spence if he fights Canelo, because Canelo's too big and too strong. He's beating 168-pounders. Imagine Errol Spence against Callum Smith. Do you think he'd be able to dominate Callum Smith the way Canelo did? Not a chance. Not a chance. This is what I'm trying to say. I don't even think Errol Spence would beat someone like Andrade, let alone Canelo. And this is what I'm trying to say to people, that I don't know whether Errol Spence has got the heart to be in the game that long. I might be wrong. But from the way he's talking about the Crawford fight, the way he's talking about moving up to fight Canelo, that only tells me that the guy is looking to secure the bag and probably get out. Because once you fight Canelo, right, there isn't anything bigger than that. And you also, if you're losing, that's going to demotivate you further. When you lose and you've been to the mountaintop, that demotivates fighters. Some fighters find it difficult, especially undefeated fighters like Spence find it difficult to come back. I don't know what his goal is. I don't know what Spence is thinking in his head. But Tim Bradley is saying even if he goes over to the PBC, Crawford, I don't think the fight happens. I think there's more of a chance the fight happens if he goes over to the PBC. The problem is the fact that Errol Spence is talking about Canelo more than he's talking about Terence Crawford. To me, that says that he's looking to secure the bag. And there's nothing wrong with that. As a fighter, that they're prize fighters. They want to make as much money as possible. And Errol Spence would make a lot more money fighting Canelo than fighting Terence Crawford. However, I do think it's a fight he loses, and I think he'd be a massive underdog in the fight. I think he has a greater chance of beating Terence Crawford. It's a fight that would be for welterweight supremacy. And the fact that Errol Spence already thinks he's a big dog and he already thinks the best welterweight in the world when he hasn't fought Thurman, he hasn't fought Pacquiao, and he hasn't fought Terence Crawford, I don't know how he can come to that conclusion. Yes, he holds 2 belts, but that doesn't mean that you haven't fought the top guys. Let's not forget Thurman beat Porter and Danny Garcia. I know a lot of you said, well, Thurman beat them 4 years ago. It's irrelevant. He beat them, and he still hasn't fought him. Pacquiao beat Thurman. Crawford is a guy that people think is a top welterweight. So there's 3 guys he hasn't fought. But yeah, he's talking about going about another division when... And it's not even like he's moving up to 154 to win a title there. He's going straight to 160. I don't... This was what makes me think that he's trying to secure the bag. And that... I can only come to that conclusion. There isn't any other logical reason why a guy would jump up when he's got unfinished business at 147 to move up to 160. Kell Brook did it against Golovkin. And for me, that was trying to secure the bag. Kell Brook was securing the bag. And look what happened to Kell Brook after that. He got his eye socket damaged and his career was over. Right? You can say the same thing about Khan moving up and fighting Canelo. But Khan, the reason why I was more critical of Amir than I was with Kell Brook is that Amir Khan had already secured the bag before he had fought Canelo. He was already a multi-millionaire. He was already sorted. And and that's why I'm criticizing Spence now, because Spence is in a much better position than Kell Brook was. Kell Brook hadn't made anywhere near the amount of money that Spence has already made. So Spence doesn't need, yes, he wants to make more money and he wants to make, as much as possible so he can live happily for the rest of his life. But the fact is, Spence has secured the bag already. Spence don't need to make crazy moves like that, jumping up 2 weight classes to fight Saul Alvarez. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to jump up and fight killers like that. He's already in a great position. Spence is in a great position. Financially, from a legacy point of view, give us the fights that we want. Everyone wants to see Spence Crawford. Everybody wants to see that fight. Give us that fight. Give the fans what they want rather than jumping up 2 weight classes, fighting a guy that is probably overmatching you, size, strength. It doesn't look good from Spence's part, And unfortunately, I'm not... I know Tim Bradley and Crawford are close and Tim Bradley can be biased, but I think Tim Bradley is making valid points. I do agree with certain points that Tim Bradley's saying, because why would you, like Tim Bradley says, why would you go up north and fight Saul Canelo Alvarez? It doesn't make any sense. But yet you're not willing to face Terence Crawford. It's not the fact that he's not willing. I'm not saying he's scared to face Crawford. I actually think he beats Crawford. This is what I'm trying to say. He doesn't seem like he has that same energy towards the Crawford fight that he does towards a Canelo fight or a Pacquiao fight. If we're honest, he doesn't seem to have that same energy. He doesn't seem to have that same energy, and that we can only go off that. Unfortunately, I like Spence. I like him. I think he's a great fighter. I think he beats Terence Crawford. I think he might be the best welterweight in the world. But the problem is, I feel like he's at the stage of his career after the accident where maybe the Errol Spence before the Kell Brook fight, that was a proper fighter. The Keith Thurman before he got injured and was out for 2 years. Those were proper fighters. Is Errol Spence now looking at it from a business point of view? And that's the problem. A lot of these fighters, and that's the difference between Manny and Floyd, is that the reason why Manny and Floyd are legends and they're all-time greats is because they never ever viewed the sport early on in their careers as a business. It was more, they were fighters. They did that. Floyd did that towards the end of the career. Manny kind of is doing that now more than Manny was a fighter all the way throughout his career. Floyd did it towards the back end of his career, but let's not forget how much Floyd toiled in the prime of his career and did what he did. Let's not forget that. Let's give him credit for that. Over a decade, he was toiling and grafting away, trying to get recognition, trying to get credit. He didn't get it. He didn't get it. Floyd Mayweather put in a lot of graft, not Spence. Spence, what? I didn't even know about Spence in 2013-14. He's only been around for 4 years. 4 years. And yet he's already, this is a problem with a lot of the boxers now. It's all business and they're all looking to make just a few bob. And listen, I understand boxing's a tough sport. They want to secure the bagging. But I feel like the reason why I'm more critical of Spence, because I feel like he's already made a lot of money. And he's going to get paid a lot of money to fight Terence Crawford. But he's looking to secure the bag and make even more money by fighting Canelo, which is a fight that a lot of people would make him a huge underdog in. Like, nobody would give Spence a shot in that fight. And it's a dangerous fight for your health, your risk, anything. Canelo's very good. He's very big, man. He's very big, very strong. Just beat up a massive super middleweight. And that was a legit super middleweight. That was ranked #1 super middleweight. And I don't believe Spence beats Callum Smith. I don't think Spence beats Callum Smith. I'm just being honest. I don't think he beats Callum Smith. So, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I like to think that Spence gives us the fight we want to see. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he does. And hopefully, this talk about him saying that I'm the king, I'm this, I'm that. Hopefully he gets over that and gives us the fight we want. Because I think deep down he knows that the fans want to see him fight Crawford. And I'm not saying he's scared, but at the minute he just doesn't seem like he has that energy or that desire for that fight. For some reason, whatever reason, it seems to me, if there's anyone that's blocking that fight, it's him. Right? He's talking about crazy splits. He's talking about, and his fans are going to back him. But at the end of the day, I'm not a Crawford fan. I like Spence. As I said, I think Spence beats Crawford. But I'm just looking at it from a neutral point of view. And when you look at it from a neutral point of view, it does look like Spence is kind of holding up this fight. And it does look like, from the way Spence is talking, that he's looking to cash out against Canelo and wants to make that bag, secure that bag. Which there's nothing wrong with that, and good on him. I wish him all the best. Like I said, I really like Errol Spence. If that's what he wants to do, then he can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, if that fight doesn't happen between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, then unfortunately Errol Spence is going to be living with the tag of being the ducker in that fight. And he's gonna, because fans now, a lot of the fans have turned against Errol Spence. They've turned against him. And that's just the way it is. So if Errol doesn't fight Terence Crawford, I think he's going to come under a lot of criticism by the fans. And I do think he'll hurt his legacy if he doesn't fight Crawford. I've just got to be honest. If he doesn't fight Terence Crawford, I do think his legacy will be hurt. That's just my honest opinion. People may disagree with me, because I don't think he's going to go up. Yeah, you could say his legacy will be on another level if he goes up and beats Canelo. But let's look at the guys that Errol Spence has beaten at top level. Kell Brook, Danny Garcia, and Sean Porter. These are the 3 names. Are those 3 names better than Thurman, Pacquiao, and Crawford? I'll let you guys decide whether they are. So they're the 3 guys that we want to see him fight and clean out the welterweight division, which I think he's capable of doing. But unfortunately, he doesn't seem like he has that desire at the minute. And let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. I've been doing a lot of videos and they're just frustrated. I want to see the fight and we're not getting it. And fans are being frustrated. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.